Hi, Naomi. Thank you for being here today. Before we hear from her, let me just tell you a little bit about Naomi Striemer. In 2006, Naomi was featured on the cover of Billboard magazine. That's a big deal. Predicting she would be the next commanding diva of the decade. She has worked with artists that include Randy Jackson, Carlos Santana, Puff Daddy Combs, and Justin Timberlake. Wow, you're making me nervous now. That's a big list. She's also signed a record deal with Sony Records, and wow, that is a great experience that you've had so far. So thank you, Naomi, for being here today and sharing with us your beautiful song. We're so grateful that you've come. Now, beyond the music, though, you really have an incredible story. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I always had big dreams. I did, and I worked really hard, and I had the most amazing opportunities presented to me in life. But for some reason, as the journey has progressed, it always would just stop short of becoming the dream that I had. And I always wondered why, and I always really prayed to God, you know, why are you sending me these massive opportunities if you don't want them to see it all the way through? And I was just searching with God and searching, and it seemed every time one door would close, another huge one would open, until finally I found myself in a studio in New York City, Sean's studio in New York, and just asking that question again, what am I doing here? What do you have planned for me?
And something happened to you there in that hip-hop studio, am I right?
Yes, it did. It changed my life that particular night. As I was pacing the hallway, asking God those questions, a chauffeur approached me. And I'd met him the night before. And I thought it was just going to be like a, hey, how are you, passing in the hallway type experience. And instead,
a chauffeur?
A chauffeur.
Okay, like a driver.
A driver,
yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, I remember him, he had his knee-high socks on, white socks, and he came up and stood right in front of me, looked me in the eye, and he said, I had a dream about you last night.
A dream?
A dream. And
did you feel like, was that a little creepy?
You know, it was not what I was expecting at all.
Sure.
You know, when has that ever said to anybody? And I thought...
But here, you have to imagine here, I'm picturing an old guy walking up to a young, pretty girl saying, I had a dream about you last night. You know, I imagine it would be.
Yeah, and I wasn't married yet at the time.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Something inside of me, and I don't know what it was, I think back, and I believe it must have been God, and it just said, trust this guy. You know, don't run, don't look for security, don't be like, ah. And I did, and I asked him what the dream was about. And what he said next was even more shocking than his opening line. He said an angel had come to him in the night and had given him a message for me. You know, I just met this guy 24 hours earlier, and he said, you know, he started to present to me my entire life, right in front of me. And
you mean just like from beginning to end, he was describing your life,
the details of my life.
Amazing.
And you know, there's so many things you put on a biography, all the good stuff, you know, all the beautiful, wonderful stuff. And then there's all the other real stuff. And he had both of those sets going. And at first I thought, this is a joke. Like, he knows somebody that I know really well, and suddenly it's going to be like, surprise, and got you good. And it wasn't that. It turned into, when I started to doubt, he started to tell me my prayers. And in my prayers were the very questions you keep asking God, why? Why you have all these dreams, you know, happening in front of you, and you are just about to reach out, grab a hold of them, and they vanish, they crumble into dust at your feet. And this had happened, and it was happening over and over. And he said it back to me, and he said, you can make a decision right now to stop this from happening.
To stop what from happening?
The cycle. I was terrified that I was going to be the biggest disappointment who'd had the biggest opportunities.
Sure.
And he said, right now you can choose to either continue chasing your dream, because that's what I had done. Yeah. You know, I had put God in this little compartment. And I said, God, I worship you, and I believe in you, but you can have this. And then I have all my dreams, and because they're mine, won't you bless them?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like you had a choice. It's like God was using this man to reveal to you that not only had he heard your prayer, but that there was a choice before you, and you sort of had not made the choice yet.
Yeah, in my mind, I thought I had given God everything.
Yeah.
You know, everything that I had to give. But I wasn't. I was doing so much for me with my intentions of my goals.
Yeah.
And he said, you can keep chasing after that, and you can keep ending up right back asking these questions, why? Or you can give up everything for God.
And what would have changed in your life for you to give up everything for God and stop chasing your dreams?
Well, I think that was it. I was pursuing my glory.
I see.
And I was pursuing my accomplishments. And I wanted those pats on the back, like, oh yes, Naomi, you're doing good. Instead of living my life 100% to glorify God. What can I do, Lord, to glorify you, to spread your gospel?
It sounds like it was really a posture of your heart then. That it was not that God wanted you to stop singing or stop doing what you were good at, but to start doing it for a different reason.
That's right. Yeah, I had never, I'd grown up at the church, but I had never once thought I could sing for Jesus.
Yeah.
It was always, I can sing for me.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that. And it's so silly now looking back because God was so patient. And he just never left me, and he was just like, one day you'll get it,
And so what changed in your life after this amazing, it's pretty amazing to have a guy be inspired by the Holy Spirit, speak into your life exactly what you've been praying, and then be a catalyst for this dynamic change. What actually happened since then?
I had another huge opportunity, and finally I walked away. I couldn't get that man's message out of my head. I said I've got to walk away. Because I did that, I met my husband literally 2 months later, and our life, it's become this ministry. And when he said to me, if you just follow God in that dream, he said, if you just follow God, God will give you all the desires of your heart. Your dreams will come true. And I thought, how's that going to be? And I've watched through the years now all these dreams and then some, stuff I never imagined that I could be capable of, because I'm not. And God has just said, I can use you and let me do it. And when I finally just let him, do what he would with me, it's been incredible.
And so you have all these great things going on. You have Compassion Child sponsors. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. We just actually, my husband and I just came back from the Dominican Republic. We were with Compassion. It's a child sponsorship program that works with the church. It works, it's Christ-centered and it's child-focused. So we got to see these kids from little children of 4 years old getting their first sponsorships, all excited, to learning through the program, a lot of them give their lives to Jesus, over 100,000 kids last year.
Wow.
Because they're experiencing love for the first time
amazing.
And introduced to Christ, and going on, some of them, to PhDs.
Oh, great. And of course, you're on television here, millions of people watching you all around the world, and it's a stirring story, especially being this close to Los Angeles, where I'm sure there's a lot of Christians that have a similar kind of experience to yours, wanting to make it in film, wanting to make it in music or the arts, and kind of walking that line of, but I also want to serve a life for Christ. I'm sure that there are a lot of people today that were meant to hear your story. What would you say to them?
I think it's simple. God has a plan. He's had a plan for you before you were born. Just let him fulfill it with you. And it's going to be marvelous. And I think it's just have faith, trust. His plan works.
All right. Naomi, thank you so much for coming today. She'll be signing. She'll be outside out in front of the Narthex signing and meeting everyone. She'd love to talk to you and tell you about what she's working on. And you're going to be singing for us again this morning?
Yes, absolutely. And I will have some child packs if anybody wants to sponsor a kid today.
Oh, great. All right, wonderful. Let's welcome her again, ladies and gentlemen, Naomi Striemer.
Thank you so much.